Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's Monday night episode of See You at USC. My name is Dan Toomey, and joining me on the couch today is Miss Tiffany Bong, a hip-hop lecturer here at the USC Kaufman School of Dance. It's bound to be a great interview, and maybe I'll learn a thing or two. Who knows? Stay tuned. And once again, joining me on the couch is Miss Tiffany Bong. Tiffany, thank you so much for being here today.
You're welcome. Pleasure to be here.
And Tiffany, you are one of the newest members of the USC. We're both freshmen here at
Yes,
the
we are.
USC, and you're a hip-hop lecturer here at the Kaufman School of Dance. Which, just for the folks at home who might not be familiar with you and your extensive career, just a bit of an intro about where you first got started with dancing.
Okay, well, I think it was meant to be that I became a hip-hop educator because my first experience with hip-hop was at school.
Really?
And I was in the 6th grade. I went to a very traditional Irish Catholic school. There was not a lot of hip-hop going on.
Yeah, I can't imagine.
And there was a lot of priests and nuns, yes. And all I remember was I was in the 6th grade sitting in the second to last row, and we were watching a performance. I don't remember any part of the performance except the last 5 minutes. Hip-hop music turned on. And then there were hip-hop performers on stage, dancers on stage. And I just remember my whole body and being just activating. Just, what is this? What is this? And it's almost as if, you know, a black and white world turned color all of a sudden. And from there, it's just something in me turned on. And from there, I just fell in love with the culture. About a week later, I bought my first hip-hop cassette tape.
And that's where it all started.
That's where it all started, and that was in San Francisco when I was in 6th grade. So, yeah, I have a huge passion for, obviously, just bringing and bridging hip-hop into schools because I know of the impact that it makes because I feel like I'm a reflection of it.
Yeah, and talking about the impact of dancing in schools, you are part of you actually founded a program called Universal. Would you mind just explaining what that is to people who might not be aware of it?
Absolutely. So I have a company called Universal Hip Hop, and we bring hip-hop dance artist residencies and performances into the schools. So again, I used to be the one, when I was in the 6th grade, that little performance changed my life. So it's really nice to be on the other side.
Yeah, you don't know how many other kids are waiting for that moment.
Exactly. So now I'm on the other end where I'm actually the one on stage introducing it to them. So that's one thing we do. And we also bring artist residency programs into the schools. So for example, we'll have a hip-hop artist come in for about 10 weeks introducing to them a specific form of hip-hop dance. It's wonderful because we're reaching both, I would say, dancers and non-dancers. Well, I think everyone's a dancer, but but
it's
really,
just a matter of finding it.
Yes. And so it's really introducing this amazing art form to these students and really fostering life skills through hip-hop dance. So I always say it's not really the movement that we're teaching. I'm not really teaching you a dance. I'm teaching you and giving you skills for you to understand yourself. And by understanding yourself, a way for you to connect and access and understand other people. So so
it's the connection through dance that you look to foster.
And the life skills of confidence, you know, being able to communicate, being able to compromise, being able to create something from concept to presenting it on stage. So all these are important skills that not only are great within the arts, but great in life in general. And
now, have you ever found that, I guess, difficult at all to teach kids? Because it's ages K through 12, correct? Is that ever difficult for you? Have there ever been like shy kids who might not be about dancing at all, and you've tried to like get it out of them a little bit, or?
Those are my favorite ones.
Really? Yeah. You like the challenge of it?
I do. Well, first of all, it's interesting that you say shy because I was voiceless before hip hop. So hip hop gave me a voice. So just when I see the shy students, those are the ones I connect to the most because I know I used to be you. And so they're actually my favorite to teach. But we, you know, teach a wide range of students. And I think it gives them something different for each person in terms of what they need, whether they need to be feeling like they belong, so a sense of kind of just being in a social environment that, you know, no matter what, I can be respected for my opinions. For some people, it's to give them a voice. Some people, it's to get them comfortable with their bodies. So it gives them all different types of things. But, you know, with hip hop, it was born out of struggle. So challenge is what we feed off of. So it's taking that challenge. Yours is different than mine, right?
Yeah.
But using this tool to really be able to overcome those challenges and find out about ourselves through it. So.
And do you is that mostly schools in the California area or Los Angeles area, or up and down the coast, or really just LA?
We're doing all throughout the LA area. So from San Bernardino to Santa Clarita down to Orange County, all throughout. It's amazing.
And now something I would love to talk about, there's this great video on YouTube, and you need to see it if you haven't, of back in, I think, like 2011, you had a group of kids surprise you with your own dance routine. Walk us through, because the moment is just, it's so picture perfect, and I'm trying to summarize it right now, but I can't. Just walk us through that one moment, because it seems like that defines so much of what the program is.
It is.
Yeah?
Oh, don't make me cry already. So let's take
First
it back.
half. We did it. First half.
I call it the Oprah cry. Don't do that. Don't do that. Well, this particular school called Delavan Drive was actually the first school I ever taught at, and it's really significant for me because my first day there, I specifically remember coming out of that school and the sun came down and it was that, oh, this is what you're meant to do with your life. This is your sweet spot in life. And so that program at that time was maybe about 3 years old. And so I built, it's incredible with, you know, this type of program because number one, you get to come in and in many ways you're like a superstar to them because they don't get to really encounter an artist in terms of what they embody from everything from A to Z. So they start dressing like you. They start, I mean, it's amazing, but just the power of what you have just before you even dance, your presence of just being there and what you stand for. So at this point, about 3 years, I mean, it's the principals knew me, the parents knew me. I mean, the teachers were jumping up, dancing. I mean, really talk about transformation through an arts, one single 10-week arts program once a year. And so somehow, I mean, you just build this relationship with these students. And I think what was so powerful was the fact that, you know, as a teacher, you give to those students, but what the arts teach you is that giving circulates. And I think they wanted to give back to me. And so,
and they did.
They absolutely did. And so they found, I mean, I pushed them a lot. That's our job as teachers, is to show them their edge, right? And so they were getting ready for a performance, but I didn't even know that beyond that and beyond what they were doing and taking, you know, their tests and their normal curriculum, they all decided to practice a routine that they saw on YouTube.
Really?
And which is to like Stevie Wonder, who's just one of my favorites.
Of course. I mean, that's just a given.
He just is. And they had practiced not only our performance piece, but on the side another one. And then after the performance, they just completely shocked me. I was giving, I think, a thank you speech, and suddenly the music cues, you know, and I'm going, what is going on? And then the whole floor was filled with sixth graders dancing. And what I remember the most was like the joy in their eyes.
That's great.
Was looking up, saying, "Are you seeing me? Like I'm giving this to you." You know, because it was what I was giving to them throughout the week. So I think just that moment was just such an incredible, I think, top moments of my life.
Yeah. So. And do you find, I mean, Los Angeles and hip hop really are two. They're both constituted by so many different cultures, and have you experienced a lot of that in your teaching with Universal? That you're touching upon a lot of different cultures, and is there any difference, I guess, in the teaching process through that, or?
That's such a great question. So, one of the things that hip hop does is that number one, it's an inclusive community of all cultures. It celebrates, you know, it comes a lot from African American and Latin cultures, but you know, in terms of how it's traveled across the world, I'm talking. Any country, any village somewhere, hip hop is there. It's quite incredible. So that's one of the things I love about coming into our Los Angeles community is that the specific demographic we work with is for them to understand that number one, kids created this dance that is all across the world, from commercials to stages to politics to papers to everything. Kids from about 10 to 17 created this dance, and they're kids that look like you. And kids that took their culture and adapted it to the current times and how they felt to create a dance. So you can actually trace the lineage of all these hip hop dances in terms of how it comes into a lot of different cultures. So it's really a beautiful melting pot kind of culture. So.
And have you experienced the same thing in your competitive history with dancing? I mean, you've been to competitions in Korea and in America, and what's that like, just seeing so many different people come together who are that dedicated to it, I suppose?
It's like, you know, that feeling that you get when you watch the Olympics or you wish you were competing there.
But you are in this case.
Yeah, I actually did perform at the Olympic Stadium in Korea.
Really?
And it was such quite an experience of stepping out.
What was your position?
I was representing North America for this huge international competition out there, and it was quite an honor, and really being at the Olympic Stadium that they built. So it was, but really to your first question about, you know, what's it like to, you know, come in and experience all these different cultures that are so dedicated. Well, you know, and hip hop is our culture. It's interesting because it's our collective culture. So the language we speak is of the music, of the dance, of the fashion, of our mentality, our belief system. So I have to say, hands down, one of the best things about being a hip hop dancer is the family that you get to build and bridge along the way. So I've landed in countries, jet lag, not knowing who I am, where I am at the moment, right?
But there's always someone there.
There's someone there opening their doors. Their family feeds you. They take you around like they're your brother and sister, and you leave and you're truly family. So in many ways, you know, hip hop provides a sense of pseudo family for so many people, and it really creates a sense of unity and oneness for everyone. But it's also a chance for me when I visit, let's say, South America, and you know, you could go and you could tour South America, or you could go to someone that grew up there. And they cook the food for you, and they tell you stories.
It's immersive in a way.
Absolutely. It's such an incredible experience.
And I guess here at USC we have our own diverse community of our own. And just describe starting to teach here. How's that been so far? Is that a good or a bad thing?
Oh, it's amazing. It's
That's
just
great.
It's like coming into this world that's just brand new for me. I feel again like we're freshmen in this, and experiencing just one of the things I appreciate the most is, as you mentioned, the diversity of just the whole school.
Is that different than other places you've seen?
I feel so. I mean, depending on where, I've taught everywhere from, you know, different countries to, you know, around the corner, but I feel that USC is really progressive. I feel like it really emphasizes diversity and culture, you know, cultural appreciation. I appreciate that. And I just feel like, here's my summary when people ask me about USC.
Please,
if I can be totally honest.
I would love to hear it.
Well, I almost want to.
We can censor this.
I'm from San Francisco, first of all. So when I say the word hella, it's a good thing. Okay. So hella is like the best description of something sometimes. So I feel like everyone here is hella smart. But hella down to earth. That would be.
That's a good combination.
Yeah, the
all right,
best
we can keep
combination.
You on for the second half. So you think that's like the student body, even especially in the dance community?
I think just all in all, being able to meet different professors from different schools, and they're just hearing their backgrounds. I mean, you can get a little thrown off by just what you know, where everyone comes from and what they've done, but you meet them, and not only are they just so, you know, highly skilled, but they're so down to earth, and they're willing to give a hand.
You feel it's a supportive community? You felt that from the outset?
Yes. So that's what they're one. Hella supportive.
So
yeah.
But that's good though. I mean, it's that kind of, and that was easy to come into, you felt?
Yeah, absolutely.
You didn't really feel like a freshman?
I felt like it was a good fit. I feel like when this position opened up, you know, I already have a whole business and a whole career. And I just said, if it's going to be a good fit, it just is. And I think I knew within the minute.
Well, we're glad we have you here with us, and to talk more about that in the second half, Tiffany Tiffany Bong is here with us. Please stay tuned for the second half. You're not going to want to miss it. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Monday Night at CU at USC. Once again, my name is Dan Toomey, and joining me, the wonderful Miss Tiffany Bong. Tiffany, once again, thank you for being here.
Pleasure.
And so in the first half, we were talking about, we mentioned a little bit, the USC Kaufman School of Dance. And whenever I've talked to other students here who are part of the Kaufman School, they say, oh, it's one of the most nationally renowned dance schools in the country, and it just started. Care to comment on that?
My comment is just wait and see.
Really?
Oh man, just wait and
what,
see.
what are we preparing for?
You know, it's interesting because when I first applied and read about the vision of Kaufman, it was titled as the new movement, and I thought,
really?
I like that because I'm a new movement kind of person.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always just really loved being on the cutting edge of things and really having a progressive kind of vision in life. And so I said, I like that, okay?
Yeah,
so I'm wondering, what does this new movement mean? And so I read about this concept of, you know, in terms of when you think about being a schooler or an educator, you want to think from start to finish, when they graduate, who do you want them to be when they graduate on that last day, right?
Yeah.
And so this concept of, you know, what creates the new movement, and so what they really want to do is create focus on the sense of hybridity, meaning that I'm not studying just one form of dance, I'm studying several forms of dance, and from those several forms of dance, really creating a new movement. So
that's funny.
Yeah.
So it's not like an intensive on one strict form.
No.
That's interesting. And is that something new that really isn't common amongst dance schools?
I have to say this is where we're trailblazing this, because I feel, number one, in terms of hip hop, you know, hip hop is the newest of let's say the dance forms, and it's still generating in terms of who we're going to be and what direction we're going to move towards. And so hip hop at a university is brand new. I mean, there's in some university and colleges there's a hip hop class,
but not like a specific program.
But not where you could minor in hip hop dance studies. I mean, we have 3 hip hop dance faculty members who are just incredible. Every day I wake up going, wow, I have the best job ever.
That's great. Yeah.
And
like you said, it's a supportive environment.
It is, and so we're really a team. And we're, in terms of the hip hop, you know, professors, we're a team, but the whole faculty at Kaufman, we're a team, and we really believe in interdisciplinary work. And so, even though we're here at year 2, in terms of the collaborations and us building those connections and finding those bridges, I started for the first time last Thursday, I believe, finally seeing the new vision come to life. Because you could read about it on paper, and it sounds great, right?
But you need to experience it to believe it.
And see it. But I saw these freshmen, just freshmen, and some sophomores, dancing in ways I've never seen before. I feel like they took the classical kind of traditional techniques of ballet with the rawness and, you know, improvisation. You know, mindset of contemporary and hip hop styles.
Yeah, that's really
all
interesting.
Fused together. I mean, and on top of that, what I saw was, you know, not only great movers, but just these students are so articulate. They're so, you know, intellectual in terms of their approach. Yeah. They're very, you know, intentional in terms of their choices. So it's not just, I move because you move me or you tell me to move. They've really gone through a process in terms of how to take this movement and make it theirs, and how to really create new movement and to really push the boundaries of what dance is. Yeah. So it's really exciting.
Yeah. So you would say, I guess, innovation is one of the cornerstones of the program?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And so what specifically would you focus on in your class? You're a lecturer, correct? So what walk us through the typical class, I guess.
So right now I'm teaching elective courses, so I'm working with non-majors.
Okay.
So hopefully in the next years I'll be able to work with the majors, because I can't wait to get
non-majors are a little stiff.
Yeah. Not that I mean, I actually love teaching beginners too. And so with the elective courses, I'm teaching hip hop dance techniques, and I just think it's amazing because people all come in with different preconceptions of what they think hip hop is. From, oh, this is what I see on a video, you know, and it could be anywhere from a really good video to a really bad video, or to this is what I saw, you know, my parents did growing up. To I have no idea what hip hop is, but I want to learn how to dance, and I want to learn some cool moves, right?
So they come from all different facets of knowledge.
Absolutely.
Of hip-hop.
And they're really coming in, and my favorite thing to do, and I think a core value about hip hop is community. So here we are. I have a lot of freshmen and some sophomores in my classes, and they don't know each other. They all belong to different schools here at USC, and it's a chance to really get to know each other and to support each other. And we're learning this vocabulary, this movement together. We're having these discussions together, and what's wonderful is seeing the support that happens. You know, I could see their growth even at week 6 now, where they're cheering for each other because they see the breakthroughs that happen. They see, I'm awkward, I feel awkward, I'm really nervous, to I went for it. And then we celebrate that together, you know? So just fostering a sense of community, I feel, is just my favorite thing to do within the class. So.
And community is huge here at USC. That's have you been introduced to that yet? The big sense of community here at the school? I have little glimpses of it, but I'm sure just so much more. So much more. Yeah. And so and that's funny that you mentioned how you're seeing a lot of students open up, and these are college students. But you mentioned earlier you see the same thing with a kindergartner, with a 12-year-old. So it's interesting that you mentioned how both in terms of culture and age, hip hop kind of transcends it all.
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
Yes, it's for any age, every background. It doesn't matter where you come from. I work with students that are in a wheelchair, or students that have some type of, for example, they have I don't want to say a mental, but they have some emotional, issues they're really working through, or a learning disability, and hip hop is for everyone. It's incredible. I mean, the theme of hip hop is come as you are. Simply that. Come as you are.
Because it's so welcoming.
Come as you are and get down with us.
And so now something I want to mention, the main form of hip hop you do is called what again?
So there are many different kinds.
Okay, yes.
But the one that are very near and dear to my heart, the first one is a specific style dance called locking.
Locking.
What's wonderful about locking is I was birthed literally within the 1 mile radius of where USC is.
Seriously?
So really within the heart of Los Angeles, South Central LA, is where locking was created. It's now a global dance, all across the world, and it was born right here. And the creator of locking happens to be a very dear friend of mine. He's still alive. Happened to be, he's like like another father in my life. And so it's an honor to be able to bring his dance into the university, into K through 12 education, and for him to witness and experience this. So a lot of times he comes into my school program.
Oh, so he's seen a lot of it.
Yes.
That has to be so cool.
I just think to me, it's a dream come true.
Yeah, was he a hero of yours growing up?
Oh, I mean, he continues to be a hero of mine.
It doesn't end.
And it doesn't. And he continues to teach me new things every day. Sometimes he's teaching me something, and he teaches me every year, and I don't get it till the 5th year in. Because sometimes being a student, you're not ready to hear what your teacher or mentor
And I'm
has
sure
to
you've
say.
experienced the same thing with the kids that you teach.
Yes.
That's funny.
Some moment it just clicks. Go, oh, that's what he was talking about. That's what she was talking
Yeah.
about. So, but it's an honor to teach his dance, and it's an honor to bring it here to USC. Well, and I want him to experience this incredible moment.
So what usually constitutes locking? What like kind of movements is it usually?
So locking is a style of dance that was created in the 1970s. So and it's really what we call a West Coast funk style.
Okay, so it's like Soul Train era.
Yeah,
Cool.
so you think Soul Train, which is really where my heart lives, is in Soul Train.
Oh yeah, it's a great show. It's a great show. I will give you that.
Yes,
it's an amazing show.
It's an incredible show with incredible music, dance, and fashion. And so this dance was created as a response to what was going on in Los Angeles, in the West Coast at that time. So you think 1960s, 1970s. Soul music was really big, and funk music was really big, and the lyrics of soul and funk were really a reflection of the civil rights movement, really talking about equality for all people. It's about power. It's about understanding your own power. It's about respect. It's about believing in your dreams and going out there and doing it. So all of this type of feeling and sentiment went into the music, which fed into the dance. So locking is a reflection, I feel, of all of that. But more so, basically this man, Don Campbell, who's again still alive, he created this dance completely by mistake. He was a really bad dancer.
By mistake?
Yeah. He created it at school, and he could not dance, and he was trying to learn how to dance.
Yeah.
And every time he tried to learn how to do a move, he kept doing it wrong, but everything that he did wrong somehow became right. Because he was so awkward in his movements, it stood out. And so hip hop is so much about standing out by being you. And so he stood out, and his friends started cheering him on and saying, hey, you know, do that thing, do that lock, do that lock, do that camel lock.
It's something new.
It's something new. And so it caught on, and he, you know, he danced his heart out. And everything, he didn't plan to make this dance. It was just a response to what he was doing. And he just kept doing things randomly, and people kept cheering for him.
Yeah.
And so that's how this whole dance, so the international vocabulary of locking was created by a man that pretty much couldn't dance and kept making mistakes.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. Yeah.
And speaking of making mistakes, do you think I could learn, because I have a very small repertoire with what little time we have left, do you think I could learn possibly just one dance move?
Oh, totally.
All right, let's
totally.
do it.
For
Let's
everyone.
do it.
Are we standing, sitting,
yeah,
sitting,
I think we
standing?
could stand. Yeah,
all right.
Let's see how this works. Okay.
What's really cool is that the shirt I'm wearing with literally is a picture of Don Campbell right
here.
here.
It's perfect.
So it's perfect.
Yeah,
It was meant to be.
All right.
So we got to start with the first move, which is the lock, okay? So the concept of a lock is that it's a stop, because he doesn't know how to dance. He didn't know how to dance, so he gets stopping, all right? So I'm going to teach you a couple of things that you do to create a lock, right? You want to think about your hands, right? Closing your hands. And you want to think about your elbows pushing out. Yeah, so going from a straight position to out. That's your lock, right? You want to push
that.
Ooh,
all right.
that was good.
Good?
Yeah, they have potential. That was good. All right.
I won't get ahead of myself.
That was amazing. All right, so I like your attack toward it. It was great. All right, so you want to now think about pushing your hip back on it. So as your elbows come out into the lock, your hip's going to push back into it. Nice.
Cool. All right,
I think you've practiced this.
No, definitely not. Definitely not for the camera at all.
All right. I think you did. So third thing you want to think about is you want to pop out one knee when you're doing the lock. Okay, so one leg is straight. So this is my one is straight, one is bent.
Right.
Your
so
hip
the final
is back,
movement we got.
and this is the lock.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom. There's the lock, right? Final
really
one.
Good.
In 3, 2, 1. Great. Tiffany, thank you so much for being on the show.
You're
this
welcome.
has been the Monday night segment of See You at USC. My name is Dan Toomey. Tiffany Bong, thank you so much for joining us, and hopefully you learned as much as I did. Tune in next time.
You're watching Trojan Vision. For more of your favorite shows, check us out at trojanvision.com and like us on Facebook.
No! What the heck?
It's a hard game.
Yeah, but addicting. It's already 1:30.
1:30. Mind Games is on.
Wait!